Welcome back to Chips and Salsa. I'm Jerry,
I'm CRob.
and this is the show where we talk to Intel experts about security topics. And today we are continuing our series on the Intel Storm Team.
As a reminder, STORM stands for Strategic Offensive Research and Mitigations. And today we are so very excited to talk to Thais Moreira, who joined us to talk about all the amazingly cool stuff she's doing with reverse engineering and binary analysis and community engagement. Really awesome stuff.
Well, hi, Thais. Welcome to Chips and Salsa. It's good to see you. Can you give us a little bit about your background and how you ended up in Intel and the kind of work you do here?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, first of all. And so my background is basically I'm curious. So I'm a very curious person, as you may know by now. And I have this need to know how things really work, like to understand every tiny details of how and why is this CPU behaviors like this and stuff. So when I shifted to computer science research, I started looking first at malware and understanding how they were able to misuse features and trick systems to do unexpected things. I got in this like, you know, what's really happening? How can you trick systems that were supposed to do A to do B so you can like get some uh, money even from it, right? So I'm trying to I'm trying to understand these tiny details on such malicious code. I ended up in love with the CPU, of course, which enabled me to go deeper into areas that I really, really like enjoy, like logic, mathematics, and physics, because that's my background.
Ooh.
Yeah. And where things were happening there, and I was like, oh my god, what can I do with this? So I was presenting one of my personal research at a conference, and a friend came to me and asked me if I would like to get some answers to the open questions that I had.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, thrilled, right? So he organized some interviews, and that's how I ended up in the Storm team.
Oh, that's pretty
Uh,
awesome.
yeah.
So,
And
yeah, please.
no, that's all.
Well, I was, uh, so the type of work you do is it called reverse engineering? Could you maybe explain a little bit about the bits of how you do your stuff?
Yeah, sure. Like before, it was like malware reverse engineering,
Hmm.
but the work that I do here at Storm is a bit of all over it.
Hmm.
So I am a member of the CPU security research program. So we do things related to reverse engineering,
Hmm.
but most of it is kind of like confidential.
Hmm.
Uh, but where I use the knowledge that I had in reverse engineering uh, is on binary analysis because it's basically the same. If you
Okay.
are reversing, you are analyzing a binary.
Hmm.
And this part of like reverse engineering or binary analysis, uh, it crosses because the techniques that we use for reversing is like the same for binary analysis. So at Intel, I don't need to reverse engineering much since we normally
Hmm.
have like the source code of like everything that we are looking at.
Yeah.
But we should be able to understand how things work coming from a black box perspective
Hmm.
of security. So sometimes I'm even reversing the code that we do have the source code. And there is a need for analysis of binaries generated by the compilers that we also provide to our customers. So
Hmm.
we do that in multiple ways as well. And another project that I'm working right now is this gadget finding tool, which is a binary analysis tool that
Okay.
automate the process of looking for transient execution side channels gadgets and yeah, in
Hmm.
Intel binaries. And for that, I also use the reverse engineering skills.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Is this a tool that is just used inside of Intel? This binary analysis tool?
Yeah, right now, yes, because first we are starting to test it with like larger binaries. So we are planning to execute all this analysis also like on the Linux kernel, and then the research is going to be public, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, for now it's like private.
Mhm. So thinking about this work you're doing, why is that important to Intel?
So, as you know, researching and development is CPU security or CPU architecture and micro architecture field, it's still like a very niche. And at the same time, is very much needed, right? So CPUs are like the one thing that I guess it's the most complex piece of technology of our time. And at the same time, we do have a lot of people working on the security of like our workloads running in this hardware. So I feel it's like Intel responsibility as the industry leader on this matter to go and advance the security of this field
Mhm.
and also like share it with the community afterwards. So we are like inside the Storm and iPass, as we should be the ones taking these steps for CPU security in the whole ecosystem, looking like not just at our products, but like everything that could be important to our customers. And we navigate this new terrain, we advise our customers, and hopefully we also like advance the industry as a whole, communicating also with external researchers.
Mhm.
I like how you say inside the storm team.
Yes.
I love it.
So yeah, that leads us to another. So outside of Intel, you do actually a lot of stuff to help educate people. Free classes, things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that kind of work?
Yeah, one of the things that I worked before too, and I also do a lot inside Intel is automation of like binary analysis, as I talked before, using
Mhm.
SMT solver, symbolic execution, and like using these kind of techniques that are not like it's getting like more utilized outside of the academic world in like in the industry. So I contributed to the community in a way that like I give a lot of trainings and classes for free, even like recorded and like on demand
Mhm.
for people that want to learn this kind of more advanced way of analyzing binaries, for example. Uh, but I also give like trainings like reverse engineering 101 and all the trainings and talks that I give, they are normally for free and
Mhm.
available online so people can just like reference to it afterwards. Um, I also talk a lot with like external researchers and
Mhm.
since I have a lot of friends, right? And
Yeah.
like I believe that the way that we learn and make the environment where we work a better place is like networking and communicating and sharing the knowledge. So
Mhm.
I try to start like building up the knowledge from like basic skills like reverse engineering and even like architecture and computer architecture until like uh, teaching how we do a side channel analysis inside Intel.
Mhm. Wow, that's pretty neat.
Mhm.
So do you have any projects or any conferences coming up you wanted to talk about?
Uh, I participate in various technical program committees of
Mhm.
internal conference like GTTC and ISECCon,
Mhm.
but I'm also like on international security conference and other external conference. I'm
Mhm.
also a board member of the Black Hoodie. That's the
Woo!
reverse engineering and low-level security topics boot camp only for women. So I also try to support
Awesome.
other minorities. Uh,
Mhm.
I, I'm also in the tech community from the WIN, that's the Women at Intel
Mhm.
community. Uh, what else? I'm not giving many talks right now because work has been crazy. And
Sounds like you're really busy.
yeah, a bit. But I'm going to a conference in November, but it's like a invite only one, so I'm not going to talk about that because
No worries.
yeah.
You have a very full plate of things to do both inside and outside of Intel.
Yeah, but it's all like I have the feeling that what you do in your free time also counts to your work time, right? And
Agreed.
participating on this also like closed groups where you can talk freely because it's off the record, it's a limited audience, it's invite only, so people are voiced. It gives you the freedom to talk about things and learn and also
Mhm.
experience the way like researchers are looking at Intel things from outside, and I can give them an idea how it is from the inside.
Mhm.
And this sharing is so important, so I try to also participate on like not only like share the knowledge with the open community and giving it online, but also like learning from them from the outside perspective.
It's
Yeah.
really awesome.
CRob and I have a few friends also,
Too.
at least two. No, but we actually did some interviews with some academic researchers recently when we were at Black Hat, and that's one of the things that came across that seemed like somewhat of a surprise to some of these folks that when they work with Intel on an issue they found. We actually work with them. Our engineers will talk to them, and we'll actually give them ideas, and talk about collaborate on mitigations and things like that. So I think the work that you and the rest of the team
Yes.
are doing to kind of promote that collaboration is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always
Thank you.
think like CPU is so complex. It's not a job for one person. And and our team is like it's pretty small. We cannot solve all the problems. It would
Yeah.
be great if we could, but we can't, and no one can know it all. Not in this perspective of security for sure.
Yeah.
And
Would you say
and
that
we really need the communication.
right, if companies like Intel aren't helping to educate people in this area, we're not going to have enough people for the world to really understand and tackle these problems that could be hidden in that microarchitecture.
Exactly. Like there are so many unknown unknowns on this field. We cannot even assume that we can do a percentage of it alone. Like we need all hands that want to help, and if we don't communicate with them, we are just losing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, I appreciate the work that you and the rest of the Storm team are doing to help
Absolutely.
educate people. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Well, and I think with that, we'll call this episode a wrap. We really appreciate your time and all of your contributions to the community, both open and closed, trying to help uplift the whole industry. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you both for having